Hello. So I wanted to do a little bit of a review, kind of. So I recorded a video on the G14, which is this one here, which I purchased from Best Buy. Now the price was $13.49 when I purchased it, and the price went down to 12.49. Sorry, and they gave me back the difference. But I have returned the laptop. Now I did quite like it. It's a 14-inch gaming laptop with the Ryzen 9. It's got 16 gigabytes of memory and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 and a 1 terabyte SSD drive. Now the SSD drive was a little bit slow, but the performance was pretty good. Just the battery life wasn't fantastic. So what I've done is I've put together the numbers here so we can take a look at them, and I've done two little videos I'll show after this, which are pretty poor quality to be fair, so they're not great. But you can see here from the Cinebench results. Let me try and get it somewhere in between. Alright, so from the Cinebench results we can see over here on the left hand side the G14, the single core is not great. It's 133. When I say not great, I mean pretty poor. So let's zoom in a little bit so we can see it a little better. So it's 8 cores, 16 threads, 3.3 gigahertz, but it was only getting a score of 133. So in comparison to similar computers, very, very, very low down. Very disappointing. Whereas my P53, which I've had for a couple of years, it performed 401, which is pretty good. So, but it's only at 2.6 gigahertz, 6 threads, 12 cores. So didn't expect it to be better. I expected it maybe to be around the same, or maybe less. So that worked really good, which is good for AutoCAD, and it's good for Advanced Steel, which I use most of the time. And now if we go over here, we can see, you can also see from my screen grabs, right, from the both computers, that my Lenovo is very clear. Now this one is larger obviously, but still a little disappointing. I'm not sure if that's the screen or what that is, but take that for what it is. You can just see it's not as clear, but it is larger, so maybe that's the reason. Now in the multi-cores, the G15 got 4,348, which is almost double what the P53 got, so that was a little disappointing for my Lenovo. So it doesn't really matter to me too much. I don't do a lot of rendering on the laptop. Any of that stuff's generally done on my desktop. So you can see the Cinebench results. Very disappointing for the G14 single core. Whether it's just my tests, maybe it's quite possible. There is other tests out there on the internet if anyone is interested. Now, also I ran the hard drive test, and we can see here that the P53, which is my Lenovo, it's doing a write speed of 2000, which is pretty good, and a read speed of 2729. Now I've upgraded that hard drive, to be fair, to a Samsung SSD drive, and the G14 was the out of the box, so I'm not quite sure what the SSD drive was, but it's the same size, and it's very poor. The read speeds are very low, 1500, and the write speeds are the same. Generally your read speed should be like 50% more than your write, in my experience. So the G14 kind of fell a little short there, but you can fix that by upgrading the hard drive, of course, so that's not a huge issue really. And then lastly we did a Geekbench on it. So if we can see from the Geekbench, which is running, checking the cores, we can see that the Lenovo on the top is getting a score on the single core of 1110 and a multi-core of 4329, and the multi-core performed better on the G14 as in the Cinebench, and the single core was lower. Now it wasn't as low as on Cinebench, so maybe it was just a once-off test. So I would say I recommend it, but the single core is a little concerning that it's not faster, because it's supposed to be 3.3 gigahertz and the Lenovo is 2.6, and the Lenovo is still faster. So for a smaller laptop it might be okay, but yeah, I did like it. I like the form of it. I like how it felt. I would like to have had it in black. I couldn't get that model in black, and I probably would have kept it if it had been the black model, but I couldn't get the black version with the 3060 in it. And I did, like I say, got a very good deal from Best Buy. They had it on sale, and I did get it for $12.49. But I have returned it since, and my next move is probably going to be to get the new i7. Now this is the i7. The problem with these i7s is I find this really, really weird, that I'm thinking of getting one of these, and I probably would have bought one, but the they come with 12 gigabytes of memory in Best Buy. Don't ask me who made this idea, because as far as I know it runs dual memory, so ideally you need to have the same size memory in each memory slot, and this has a 8 and a 4 gigabyte that can't be changed in or out easily. They're soldered onto the board, so the performance is actually brought back down by the fact that it's 12 gigabytes. I don't know why they couldn't just put 16 in it, and then I think that this is probably why they're on sale, and the 8 gigabyte ones aren't, because this one is probably slowed down to like 10 gigabytes, so there's probably not much of a difference. As you can see, another one here with 12 gigabytes on sale. So I just find that interesting. So anyway, I won't get into that. So I think it probably is worth it for somebody that wants a small laptop to run advanced steel. I think it'll be pretty good, but I would upgrade the hard drive. So there's going to be 2 videos after this. Not great quality on the webcam. That'll just show you the laptop and then show you performing while using the software. Alright, thank you. Take care. Bye. Hello. So I'm on the G14, the Asus ZEPHOROUS G14 here, and the performance seems okay. Just, I mean, it's not a huge model. It's not a tiny model either. So, I mean, rotating is not an issue. Doesn't seem very laggy. So that seems okay. You can improve. Yeah, don't show me this again. Alright, so I'm going to minimize it for a second, and let's do Control Alt Delete. Let's do the Task Manager. Let's make this a little smaller so we can see in here, and go to Performance, and we'll have a look. So we can see the memory, CPU. Open the resource monitor. You can check everything in here. Take a look at these. For now, we'll just look here. So let's see what happens when we move this over here. You can see when we move the model around, you can see the GPU is going up quite a bit. More than I expected, to be honest, because now when I orbit, it's switching over and back from the CPU to the GPU. But it doesn't seem too bad. The fan just came on. It's quite hard to hear, lucky enough. So that's not going to bother me. Well, Lenovo, the fan doesn't come on that often, but when it does, it's pretty loud. So you can see your resources here. So that's the RTX. Yeah, so it's, you can obviously go into your Armory crate and set up that different ways. The Armory crate, there's a button for it. And it opens up this Armory crate where you can, go to all your settings and all that. Let's cancel out that. Let's look at me to log in. I haven't logged in yet, so you can kind of see what's going on in here. You can monitor it this way as well. So I'm not that familiar with this laptop, so I'm not going to do anything in here. I'm just going to close it down, and I'm going to work for a couple of hours and see how this works out for me. See, it's saying an hour and 34 minutes. I mean, I have this turned on probably about 40 minutes, and I haven't used it that much, and I charged it last night, so let's see. Hopefully the battery is better than that. I hope my Lenovo, I get about 4 hours, maybe a little more of it, so let's see. Alright, take care. Been working on a couple of projects. I'm about 3 hours in now. I was a little worried about the battery. It wasn't showing, after like an hour's work, it was saying I had like an hour and a half left, but it was literally at like an hour and 45 minutes there a second ago, and now it's at 53 minutes. So if we call it an hour, that would give me 4 hours battery life with constant work on models, which isn't too bad. I was kind of hoping it would be more, like 6 or 7, but I think I might get 5 out of it. But 4 or 5 is probably what you're looking at, maybe 4. So battery life pretty good, but not great, I would say. But it is a pretty powerful machine, so I guess I can't be too disappointed. So let's see the properties. So it's got 3.3 gigahertz, so it's pretty fast, which is good. And it also has the 3060 graphics card with 6 gigabytes of RAM. I got it from Best Buy. Actually, I got $300 off, so it was a pretty good purchase. Because of that, I'll probably keep it. I had 2 weeks to see if I wanted to return it or not, but I probably would keep it because it's a little more portable than my Lenovo. I was going to get the X1 Carbon, but it doesn't have a dedicated graphics card as far as I know, so it's really a kind of a waste, even though I really love the Lenovo's. But alright.